2 years ago, I had a goal. I wanted to make 10K a month with online business by making weekly fitness videos on YouTube. And I had a burning desire to make it work. I really wanted to make it work, but I was fucking myself over. I would sit down to record a video and 10 minutes later I'd be scrolling on my phone instead. Or I'd sit down to script a video and 10 minutes later I was jacking off. Like, there were so many times where I'd want to do the work, but I just didn't. I just didn't do what I said I was going to do. And do you know how that made me feel? You can probably imagine. Full of feelings of guilt, shame, and obviously self-doubt. I didn't like myself at the time because I didn't do what I said I was going to fucking do. And do you want to know what that resulted in? I accumulated a grand total of 15 subscribers and I gave up after 6 months. So you've likely experienced the same thing. You've set a new goal, you're motivated to work towards it, but then you feel some sort of invisible force that's trying to fucking push you down. It's like you're trying to paddle up a river with wind and a tsunami just flinging you backwards. You can't do. You feel like you just can't do it. You feel like there's a brick wall just stopping you. You just can't do what you say you're gonna do. And if you don't end up understanding this force, you're gonna blink and you're gonna be 50 years old and you're gonna have remained stuck. You're gonna have failed. You're not going to have achieved anything worthwhile. But on the flip side, if you can manage to understand and break this force, you're gonna be better than 95% of people. Because 95% of people, they never achieve their goals. They never manage to change and they never manage to make tangible results. And on both sides, it's this same force. Now that you actually understand the severity of this, the enemy is your lower self. Who's the lower self? What do you mean lower self? It's your current self. It's the thoughts in your head that say, I can't, or I'm not worthy, or I'll do it later. It's those thoughts that, when you're trying to achieve something, literally stop you from doing that. It's anything in your mind that tells you not to do the thing that you know you need to do. And look, before I go on, this is actually rooted in psychology and neurochemistry. I'm not just yapping and it's not just woo-woo bullshit. There is actually scientific evidence stating that you do have the current self that does want to live, survive, and will do anything that it possibly can do to fight and survive. And that current self is going to fight and survive by sending you signals like what I just said earlier. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I can't. Things like that. Why does the lower self, your current self, take everything you want in life away from you? Well, it's what I said earlier. It's to survive. That lower self wants to survive and will do anything it can do to survive. Like, okay, I want you to close your eyes and picture two versions of yourself. One is your current self, your current thoughts, the way you see yourself, and all of your experiences, your past experiences combined into one person. That's your current self. That's your current you at this moment. And then there's your evolved self. You can visualize yourself having a staircase, you're at the bottom, your current self at the bottom, and then your evolved self on the top. Your evolved self is who and everything you want to be, the character traits you want to have, the life you want to lead, the idealized self. Now open your eyes. Notice how there's a gap between them and that they're two completely separate beings. And if you don't actually have or can't picture an evolved self, that's because you haven't set a goal. Before we even get started, you can only self-sabotage when you actually have a goal, or you might not have a goal written down, but you have somewhere you want to be. You have this idealized self. You can't self-sabotage unless you have something to self-sabotage. Like, if you're working towards a goal, you can self-sabotage that goal. But if you don't have a goal, you can't self-sabotage nothing. Okay, now we're going to get into a bit of science. So psychologically, we have a survival bias, or a familiarity, or a comfort bias. They're all sort of interlinked between each other. And this is because of how we've evolved. Charles Darwin, theory of evolution, we've evolved from apes. So imagine us thousands of years ago. What are we doing? We're hunting animals, we're making fires, We're working together in packs to hunt animals and to forage food and to make short-term shelter. That is what our life consisted of. And our brains have evolved to actually suit this lifestyle. Again, we're fucking apes. It's only in the last few thousand years, especially the last few hundred years, where we've been more intelligent creatures. But biologically, we're still apes, and our brain is psychologically biased towards those tendencies. And the biases that actually influence us are the survival bias, the familiarity bias, the comfort bias. It's basically stating that we will act to survive. We will act in the familiar. If we deem it as familiar, then we're going to act in it because we're biologically wired to want the same thing. Otherwise, we don't survive. You will find that a lot of what we do and a lot of what we're wired for is survival. Like, deep down, the reason you crave acceptance from others is a survival bias. You wanna know why? Because if you didn't get along with your tribe, if you didn't connect with your tribe or work with other people, you died. So now you have evolved to connect socially, because otherwise, if you didn't, you died out and you didn't reproduce, because reproduction is the goal of the species. And then there's the comfort bias. Why are we biased towards comfort? Well, because if we're comfortable, we're alive. We're able to survive in this current mode. Why would we go out of that comfort zone that might possibly have threats to our very lives when we could just stay in the comfort zone? That would have helped us. That would have given us some sort of sixth sense hundreds of thousands of years ago to, there might be lions there. Okay, let's stay back. So basically, I'm just trying to say that a lot of your actions are unconscious and they're biased by the survival, familiarity, and comfort bias. And the main one is the survival bias. That is exactly what your lower self, that current self, is trying to do. It's trying to engage in survival. And again, it's trying to do everything it possibly can to survive, to maintain that state of existence. And to maintain that state of existence, again, it sends you all of those different thoughts. I'll get a bit more deeper onto those thoughts and resistance as a whole later on. But yeah, just know survival bias. It's the reason that a lot of shit happens. I'm not religious, by the way, so don't take this as anything religious. Imagine you have a devil on one shoulder and then an angel on the other shoulder. That they're both playing a game for full control over your life. That they're constantly playing a tug of war. And whoever wins, you have full control over. Whoever you give awareness and conscious power to is going to win. And I'm going to show you how to influence who wins a bit later on. So if you're serious about not letting self-sabotage win, I do have a course on it down in the description. It's basically to help young men break bad habits, rewire their mind, and become genuinely happy. If that sounds good to you, check it out, it's in the description. If not, no worries, just continue on with the video. Okay, I got another term for you now, resistance. So how does your lower self attack you? With resistance. That is the umbrella term, the main term I'm going to use to describe the way that your lower self attacks you. And that resistance is basically any force that's telling you not to do what you know you need to do. So it's things like procrastination, justification, getting distracted, it's doubting yourself, it's even things like pain avoidance, or giving into comfort, giving into familiarity. It's anything you can think of that is basically telling you not to do the thing you know you should do. It's like distracting yourself with video games even though right now you know you should be working or studying. Or it's, the weather's not the best, I'll go exercise another day, I'll do it later. Or I'm feeling a little bit tired, I'll go to the gym tomorrow. It's even those, that is resistance itself. Any force that's trying to keep you from achieving your goals, to become that evolved self, that is your that is your lower self winning. That is your lower self attacking you with resistance. And this resistance is your lower self's manifestation of trying to survive. And you need to not let it win. You cannot let the lower self win. You have to kill out and become your evolved self. You have to do the opposite of what your lower self wants to do. Your lower self wants to survive? No. You don't let the lower self survive, you fucking kill him. That's the goal. Okay, so how do we actually defeat him? Well, the only thing we can do, as you can probably guess, is to do the work. And what's the work? First off, write that down. Do the work. What's the work? It's the thing you know you should be doing, the thing you know you should be doing that consists and contributes towards your goal. It's the thing that contributes the most to your goal right now. Whatever you know you should be doing right now, it's doing that thing regardless of how you feel. Your main weapon, and really your only weapon, is to do the work. And I'll give you some tips on how to make your weapon stronger a bit later. Like if you said you're going to do 2 hours of working on your online business before you go to a full-time job, resistance is saying, oh, I'll do it when I get home. But to do the work, to defeat your lower self, you do the work when you said you would. You do that 2 hours of online business and then go to your real job. It's doing shit like that. Whatever needs doing that will bring you closer to the accomplishment of your goal. That's what you need to do. That is the work. You need to beat resistance by doing the work. Snuffing out the lower self so that he doesn't survive. Okay, now for a few things on mindset and how to actually think about this whole fucking thing. When it appears in its certain forms, I want you to be thankful for it. Because when you view them as an opportunity, it's just like, okay, fuck yeah, there's resistance. That means I can grow. That means I can level up. That means I'm going to get better at discipline. That means I'm going to be closer to my goal. So yeah, you want to be thankful for the resistance. It's like, you're not going to have, actually, this is a good example. There's no knight without the dragon, is there? There's no hero without the villain. There's always some sort of antagonizing force to make the strong hero. There's no strong man without the hard backstory. There's always hurdles that they have to overcome. And this resistance is your hurdle. This is what makes you strong. This is what is bridging the gap between you and your evolved self. Because otherwise, you would have everything you want right now. This resistance is the only thing stopping you and should be seen as something you're thankful for, because you get to work to overcome it. And if you do, you get to become that evolved self. You get to achieve your dreams. Like, honestly, nothing worthwhile in life has ever happened in your life without it being super difficult, has it? Whenever something is difficult, that in and of itself gives it more meaning. Like, think back on your own life. When has been the times when you're like most fulfilled, where you're thinking, okay, during the time it was fucking hard, but I'm thankful that happened. Also, change is going to be hard. It always will be. Don't expect it to be easy, because if you expect it to be easy, you're going to hit a brick wall and you're going to fail, because it is going to be hard. Just be aware of that in hindsight. In the end, all it comes down to is doing what you know you need to do, regardless of how you feel. This entire video could be summed up in just by that sentence alone. Do it regardless of how you feel. Okay, now for some actual tangible strategies that you can use. So first of all, the enemy attacks you with resistance, yeah? But how does your resistance manifest? That's what we need to figure out. We need to become conscious of the unconscious. Right now, your resistances, they manifest, and you don't know what happens. Like for me, I know I procrastinate, I have a tendency to get distracted, I have a tendency to avoid pain. I do all of these things and I justify to myself that I should be doing something else, that I could be doing something else. You need to figure out, so the best way to do this is journal each night, and at the end of the night, I want you to write down what did you feel and what kept you from actually reaching those goals. So say, you know you had to do some work at 2 o'clock, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Journal why. What happened? And then after that, you're now actually aware. You become aware of that form of resistance. And then if that happens again, you can actually be aware that, okay, that's resistance. That's my lower self trying to survive. Fuck that. And then when you see those resistances manifest in the upcoming days, weeks, you can say, not today, resistance. Not today, lower self. Fuck you. I'm going to achieve my dreams. Or you can just say, okay, that's my lower self. I'm going to relax and I'm going to do what I need to do. It's up to you based on what your personality is. If you're more of the aggressive type, go fuck you, lower self. Whatever works well for you. Just notice it and use your personality type to go. Make sure to delve deeper into more than just the surface level, because oftentimes there is a deeper reason behind the procrastination. You could say, oh yeah, I procrastinated. Let's not procrastinate again. Okay, but why? Why did you actually procrastinate? Because, I'm actually scared of failing. Okay, good. There we go. Now we found out your fear, you're scared of failing. Why are we scared of failing? Because I'm scared of appearing to certain people that I'm a failure. I don't want to see myself as a failure. Okay, good. Now you can work that insecurity out. And now, again, you're actually conscious of the unconscious. And you realize it's not procrastination, it's just scared of being a failure. Two things aren't the same thing. You need to note the initial resistance and then delve deeper into why that resistance is manifesting. I know it does sound like a lot of work, and honestly it is. This is the way to make defeating the lower self way easier. And to develop self-awareness is fucking essential in having a good life as well. To being more emotionally stable, to having more peace of mind. I think it's one of the best skills you can learn and ever do for yourself, to be honest. And also, last bit of mindset advice, you are not your thoughts. So I want you to not associate with your thoughts. So when you have negative thoughts about anyone or the world or just any thoughts in general, you're not your thoughts. You aren't your thoughts. I want you to say that. Say that out loud right now. Look like a crazy ass. You aren't your thoughts. So when you associate, instead of associating with the thoughts, I want you to just note them and then let them pass. They don't say anything about you, they're just thoughts. You don't have to attach an identity behind the thoughts you think. And then the last thing I would do to help become more aware of the unconscious is to regularly meditate. All you need to do is 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes of meditation a day. Slowly build up to that over time, by the way. Don't just go, I'm going to do 20 minutes every single day. Do 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes for a few weeks, and then keep going up. Keep progressively overloading, just like you would in the gym. But yeah, you want to meditate in a way where you just focus, you just sat there in a quiet room, focus on your breath, and then as soon as you feel yourself lose attention, bring it back. All you're doing, focusing on your breath, you lose attention and you bring it back. The goal isn't to have a stagnant mind, free of all thought. It's to just focus on your breath, and then as soon as you realize that you're thinking, bring it back to your breath. That's all it is. And this will give you such good awareness of when you're engaging in those. Actually, it will give you amazing awareness of when resistance is manifesting. You'll be able to notice and catch yourself out before it even happens, because you'll realize, I'm doubting myself right now. I'm doubting myself right now. You can have these 4D level chess moments where you just realized, okay, I was thinking, and now you realized that you're thinking about thinking, and you realize, okay, note those thoughts, step away. I don't have to do it. I don't have to engage with them. That's my lower self. No, not me. No. All of this combined, this should give you the tools to defeat the lower self and stop self-sabotaging. So yeah, remember I do have a course in the description that helps with self-sabotage and becoming genuinely happy. Check it out, it's in the description, you'll fucking love it. So yeah, that's the video over. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, helps me out a lot. Thanks. Bye.